Thanks, James. And just so everyone knows, first of all, James, you did a stellar job representing the youth council. Thank you for stepping up. And secondly, the link is available on. It should by now be on the city's YouTube channel and on the city's website. And so, if you didn't get to see it live streamed, you can still see it. And marketing, who of course is facilitating today's meeting for us, they did a great job with the whole thing. Wanda Stark from WXII News did a really good job moderating. And like James said, no one took over. It was really, really, I think, a good conversation from all perspectives. And we did have a professor on from WSSU. We also had the CEO of the Urban League on. So it was a nice variety of people. And we had a couple from the HRC, your sister board, the Human Relations Commission. And those two people, one is a community activist and pastor, and the other is a civil rights attorney. So just real good discussion. But again, James, you did well. I think your comments were very appropriate, and you were really, you didn't hold back. I think you did a good job expressing a lot of the viewpoints of the youth.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Just to further Wanda's point, it was a very nice job that you did. I'm really impressed, to say the least. Very well spoken. Definitely showed our core values here at the Youth Advisory Council and of that Winston-Salem City Council. So I really want to stress that we as a council are proud of all the work that you put into the talk. So I extend my invitation to anyone who hasn't seen it to please watch it and congratulate James on all his hard work and the open discussion that they all had.
And Portia, I don't think you or the rest of the youth council would be aware of this because I just became aware of this. And yes, James, I'm getting ready to embarrass you. But we were trying to get everyone's titles and things like that correct, obviously, in advance of the town trust talks. And I don't know, James and I had a little sidebar conversation, and it came to my attention that Mr. James has skipped a grade and he is now a rising senior. So James, you can see everybody's expressions. We are so proud. Yeah, exactly.
Yay! That is awesome. I'm so proud of you. I mean, I don't know if you can see my face, but I was like, that's such amazing news. So welcome to the life of a senior, as I am now too as well. So that's awesome.
Thank you.
I remember you talking about it at the conference, and I was like, "You're 15. How are you a junior right now?"
Yes.
Because you were 15 at the time, I think. So
yeah, I was 15.
Go ahead, James.
I was saying, yeah, I was 15 at the time of the conference. I just recently turned 16.
Wow.
Happy belated birthday. Happy belated birthday. I'm not sure my I'm having technical difficulties right now, but I want to say happy belated birthday as well.
Thank you.
Any other input from other young members of the trust talk? Please feel free to say a comment, a question, anything that may spark your interest. I definitely would like to hear it, and I'm sure James. Okay, so it's looking like no one else has any comments, questions, or concerns. But if they should arise throughout the meeting, please let us know. I think it's just a great opportunity to speak about what we're doing during these times, especially with it being the coronavirus and the Black Lives Matter movement. We want to educate our members as much as possible because we are representing our peers. So definitely want to put that out there. Our next item on the agenda is to talk about the community protest. So that's also a great way to intersect that. I do want to say I went to the Black Lives Matter mural, and I met the student intern. And she's present in this meeting. Very well spoken, young lady, awesome. She's been wanting to meet us for a while, but our schedules are not meeting up as well. So I do want to ask any of you, have you guys went to see the mural, or have you been a part of any protests? I know Brooke has some great ideas for being a part of it. Has anyone spread any words of wisdom to the Black communities or anybody of the minority? Have you found something new? I would love to hear what you all are doing during these times.
I've been a part of a couple of protests. I want to go to more. I'm going to one today, actually. I don't know. I think you're right. It is important to like educate our members and stuff. I have not gone to see the mural, but it looks really cool. And I'm glad you got to meet the person who orchestrated the whole event. What else was I gonna say? I don't know. This is a bit off topic, but James Taylor said he was gonna try and organize a protest. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of that, but I don't know if that's still happening or.
I was gonna actually try to bring that up during the meeting, but
Yeah.
glad you brought that up.
Yeah. So James was trying to. You're still trying to do that?
Yes, I was gonna try to do it as a YAC function, and I was gonna try to ask Ms. Wanda and Ms. Jamie if that's possible.
Yeah, if we could if the human relations department could get behind it.
Yes, you all can do that as the Youth Advisory Council. You should all have shirts anyway, so that you can represent YAC in that way. And I think you have a banner as well. But definitely you have your shirts. Jamie, do they have a banner? Am I imagining that? They do have a banner, okay. So you all could definitely do that. So it would be on you if you choose to do that and do it collectively as the Youth Advisory Council. And I don't know exactly what you might have in mind, James, about the department getting behind it. I don't know, because it would be completely on you guys in terms of doing that as an organized group.
Yeah, we could just do it that way. I had a group of friends who organized one. I was unable to go because something happened at work relating to coronavirus. So I ended up not going. But a bunch of people went, and we just put up posters on social media, and a bunch of people came out. So it's totally possible for us to do it as just a smaller group. There's a lot of directions that we could go with it.
You're right, Brooke. The thing is, just make sure, and I'm sure y'all are doing this, make sure that your parents are okay with it. Make sure that you are socially distancing. Make sure that you're wearing your masks. I have to say that. I guess that's the mother in me, and partially it's the human relations director in me. Make sure that you're taking the precautions, particularly with the masks, since they are now mandatory.
It's
so
required.
representing city, right? And if you're representing YAC, that means city government has a presence, because you all are part of city government. So you do want to make sure you're doing the right thing, and you do want to wear a mask if you go out there with your YAC shirts on.
To add on to what Wanda was saying, I believe it would be important for us to share our ideas, concerns, questions through email, just so that the Human Relations Committee can know what's going on, and it won't catch everyone by surprise. We want to be able to inform everyone of what we have in mind, just out of respect to our sister committee. So just want to put that out there. I think we have some really great ideas coming around, especially Brooke said even posting posters is very a way to be informative to our youth peers, to our adults, to that of the police department, anyone. We can do things in a manner of peace, but also get our point across. So we don't want to do anything that does not represent youth in a way that is not appropriate. So definitely keep Wanda and Jamie in the loop through email. I know we have a GroupMe account. just to make sure that everyone is informed of our decisions because we are representing Youth Advisory Council in this sense.
We could create a Google Doc, and we can write down all of our ideas on it and send it through email, just so that we have them all kind of in one sort of space. But yeah, we should be able to get it sorted out pretty quickly because you don't need a permit to do it. You can just organize the thing and get out and do it.
I just wanted to say, although I may not be able to attend the protest, I would love to help organize it and stuff. And I just wanted to say that because my parents I have a high risk person at my house, so I just going out there is just not. Yeah.
Well, that's okay. There's totally different ways to help, and the fact that you're willing to help us organize it is a big thing too. So there's a bunch of things that people can do that don't require going out. So
Agreeing with Sasha, let me know anything that I can do to help organize virtually, but I can't be there in person because I do have 3 people in my family who are high risk, so going out is just not a risk I can take.
okay.
Understandable. And James, will you be taking the lead on this?
Sure.
Okay, because Brooke let us know that this was your brainchild, so that's why I was asking. Are you taking the lead? And I'm sure that Brooke or Portia or whomever would partner with you, but feel free to do that.
Yeah, I'm happy to help out.
Okay, and what you all also need to do, since you're discussing this, and I'm hearing from a few of you who are expressing support, I do need for you all to take a vote. If this is going to be something ACT is doing, you all need to vote on it by the roll call vote.
Okay, and I also want to add to everything that we've been saying. With us voting, we need to make sure that we're having specific guidelines on what we're voting, so they're not really vague, and that everyone else is informed. Like I said, the idea of being informed and understanding what our ideas are. So we are voting, just so it's clear, we are voting on the idea of the protest, an idea of convening to make a positive message, and also who would like to be a part of the group is something that we need to further address in this as well. So I do want to vote on it. If right now is a good time, we're on the subject.
Yes, now is a good time, and I love the way you laid it out, Portia. But whoever makes the motion is going to have to remember exactly what you just said.
Oh yes.
You laid it out beautifully.
This is going to be recorded, right?
You are being recorded now. This is live.
Okay, so can we get the link to it afterwards? Maybe help whoever is
Yes.
writing it up.
Yeah, James is the secretary. That will help him tremendously, I'm sure.
Right, so I'll help James. Sorry, James, but I will help you in the process. So, James, would you like to start the motion for us?
Okay, so the motion is to have a YAC protest and make sure all the other YAC members are informed. So, is that right?
You want to have a YAC-led protest?
A YAC-led protest?
Protest?
Okay.
Yes.
The motion is to have a YAC-led protest. So, Portia Smith?
Aye.
Brooke Lackey?
Aye.
Hold on, you all didn't have a second to the motion.
Oh, I do apologize. I second the motion to having a YAC-led protest.
Okay. Portia Smith?
Aye.
Brooke Lackey?
Aye.
Simmer Vagama?
Aye.
Jacob Taylor? Aye. Sasha Cigar?
Aye.
Cameron Allen?
Aye.
Celeste Collado?
Aye.
Natalia Adama?
Aye.
Skylar Peddle?
Aye.
Tamara Smith?
Aye.
Okay, the motion passes.
Okay, so I'm so glad that everyone's interested. Like I previously said, I'm not sure. Is it James who's making the Google Doc or Brooke?
I can make it.
Okay, so everyone, Brooke is making the Google Doc. I want you all to talk with her if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, just for the respect of this meeting and our time that we have here. I want to move on to the next item on the agenda.
Before you move on, can I make a Google form just so that we can like put some ideas in it? Because I was thinking maybe, do we want any youth speakers there? Do we want like to partner with another organization to do it? Like there's a bunch of stuff we could do with it. So I might make a Google form and put that link on the Google Doc.
Okay, so
Okay.
that's perfectly okay, just as long as it's informative and there's no vague statements, that it's all descriptive. Because
Yep.
a lot of times things can be conveyed in a way that doesn't make sense, or there's a lack of information thereof. So I do want to make sure that if anyone wants to speak with Brooke about it, or James, I see James that you want to speak, so please feel free to talk.
Okay. One thing that I was also going to say, and I really tried to stress during the town trust talks, is if you can't attend the protest or you can't go out because of COVID-19, using your social media platform is a really good way to spread awareness and sign petitions. So there's many ways to protest, and you don't just have to do it on foot. So I just really advise you to use your social media to your advantage.
I definitely agree with what James said. I see that a few people have already expressed that they cannot attend the protest. I'm currently aware if I choose to, but I am interested in helping as much as possible. So that will come in the weeks to come, or the days to come rather, on how we structure our protest. Is there any other questions or comments related to that?
Yak, I just wanted to mention, I think Portia went out briefly there. I wanted to mention.
Okay, so I believe it is
Portia.
safe to say we can move on.
Portia, can you hear me? Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. You have a comment from the public, which is actually Tiffany. She is from, I think, Orange. Tiffany, are you still on with us?
I am, yes.
Would you mind sharing your comment? I saw it in chat.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just remembering back to when I came to speak at the conference you all hosted over at Wake Forest, I believe it was. And a lot of the other youth advisory councils had expressed a strong desire to collaborate with you all, on your annual project, but just in general. So what you're working on now might be a great opportunity because of virtual formats to have some conversations around what they might be doing related to community protests and the Black Lives Matter movement. So you might want to consider engaging with some of them to do some virtual calls or something like that.
I still have some of their from the conference. I know I have some of their contact information. Some of them might be seniors, so they may not still be in their like advisory council anymore. But Wanda and Jamie, do you guys have the like contact for other youth advisory council leaders?
Brooke, you were breaking up a little bit. I think you were saying, could we contact other youth advisory councils across the state? Is that what you said?
Yeah. Do you have like other contact information for other councils?
Yes, and we also, the state youth council, of course, they have all of that as well. And Tiffany, thank you. I think what you said makes absolute sense. And I don't know how Yak feels about it, but I was thinking also along the lines of maybe touching base with those councils to see what they are doing. Because perhaps you all could even coordinate this, and so that you're all doing your marches or your protests on the same day or something. I don't know.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, so that would mean, I think what we need to do probably is both. Jamie and I can reach out to the state to let them put the word out to the other YACs across the state. And that way it's through the advisors. But if you're trying to reach your peers, I think you all need to definitely use your different platforms, whether it's social media or however way you all have kept in touch with them, to engage with them, as Tiffany suggested, and to also see what they may be planning. Because it could be they're planning stuff and the advisors may not be aware of it yet. So we can cover both bases. So is anybody volunteering to reach out to the YAC members across the state that you have contacts with?
I can do it. I only have I have a contact from somebody from like really East North Carolina, as well as some people from Durham and Raleigh. So I'm not sure. There was a big group chat that somebody made while we were there, so we could probably talk to them.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I have contacts from, I think the leader actually, like the president, from Cary, the Cary Youth Council.
That's great, Sasha. Can you reach out?
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I'm back on. For some reason, it's acting weird, but the student intern, I'm not sure if I'm saying her name right. I do apologize to everybody. Salva, am I saying her name right? Oh,
You
great.
got it.
Yeah, you've got it, Bert.
She's actually extending her helping hand to help us as far as resources go, and helping us to understand the nature of structure for our protest. So I think that's just amazing, because she does have some information on research and other forms of resources that we are great to have. I want to know if anyone will be interested in this helping hand. I do want to introduce her formally. She's been working with the Youth Advisory, well, pardon, not the Youth Advisory Council, the Human Relations Commission for a little bit now, and she's just like that, very well spoken person, and I hope you guys are interested in this.
Zola, feel free to say a few things if you'd like.
Yes, sorry, I'm a little worried about my mic because it's been breaking in and out. Unless I'm just it's in the actual meeting and I'm not hearing everyone correctly. But yes, thank you. First, I loved meeting you at the mural. You're also very well spoken, and that was very exciting. I think it's incredibly proactive and really awesome that YAC wants to get behind a protest. And I've also attended protests. I used to organize in college, and I would love to share my resources. Most of my resources are going to be centered around protester safety and being civil, especially because we're in such a, obviously there's still a pandemic going on. So I would love to just make sure that we are following those guidelines and protocols, but also fully in embracing civic engagement while we're doing this. So yeah, I mean, I think it's awesome, and I'm here to share all the information with you guys. Portia has my contact information, and I'd be happy to provide my email. But I think it's really amazing.
Thank you so much for chiming in and extending your resources to us. I on behalf of the Youth Advisory Council, just so honored to have you on board. I see a few community members joining. We are actually going over some of the general business as we do in most meetings. So if you have any questions or comments, feel free to text me in chat, or I believe you guys can chime in just by unmuting yourself. I love seeing community members involved. So if there's any questions, comments, ideas, or anything of the sort, please let us know. So glad to have everyone here. So I'm not sure if there's any other information that anyone would like to say on this topic, but feel free to chime in. Okay, so it looks like we can move to our next item on the agenda. On the agenda. If there's any questions, comments, or concerns, ideas that should arise, please let us know. We'd love to hear from everyone in the council. Our next item on the agenda is the 2021 Youth Advisory Council, and that is on the terms of the application and what that looks like. So if you all could pull that up, and if you guys have any questions or comments, maybe we can discuss that now. They should have been sent to your email. Again, if someone didn't receive it, could you please let me or a fellow YAC member know?
Portia, I'm going to ask Jamie to quickly cover this item and also item D under general business, which is the senior acknowledgement and celebration. Jamie, can you cover those for us, please?
Sure. So, we are sending out the email to your counselors and administrators today. They'll have until September 1st to make nominations. Due to all the changes and stuff, we want to give them a little bit more time. So those of you, are any of you all seniors? Natalia? Anybody else? You're going to be a senior, right, Portia? Okay. So that's great. That means almost all of you are going to be back next year, I hope. So as soon as you all can fill out those applications and send them back to us, that would be great. And that way we'll get a good idea of what schools we really need to work hard on in August to get those nominations in. I also attached a little like social media graphic or something you can text out to your friends. If you know of anybody that would be really good at being on the council, whether they're from your school or another school, feel free to send that to them. Let them know that they just need to talk to their counselor, and then their counselor is who will send us the nomination. If they do have any questions, they can absolutely feel free to contact the office though, and we'll tell them about youth council and what to do. Does anybody have any questions about the application or what you all need to do? Okay. So the next item with the senior celebration. So Natalia is here. That's I guess our only senior here today. So let's congratulate her. Thank you so much for all of your help this year. You were a great help at the conference, and we were so glad to get to know you. We do have, and you can spread the word to the other seniors that are not here. We do have a graduation cords. We understand you all did not have traditional graduations, but it's definitely a keepsake that you can pick up in City Hall from the guard. They are still there. I will let them know. We'd like to keep them there this week. After that, they will go into our office. But all you need to do is walk in City Hall, go to the guard's desk, and tell them that you are with the Youth Advisory Council, and give them your name, because I do have your name on the envelope.
Okay. So. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Congrats, Natalia.
Natalia, you want to say anything else? We certainly enjoyed you.
Oh, thank you. I enjoyed all you guys too. I'm kind of sad that this was like my only year being on the council, because it was like a really great experience, like meeting everyone. But yeah, the time that we had together was really fun. So thank you guys for this experience.
I want to say congratulations on graduating. You're such a well-spoken young lady. I'm so honored to be able to work with you throughout this year, though I had the flu early on, so couldn't do much, but I'm so honored to be a part of helping you to explore your interests. And congratulations. I'm not sure if everyone knows or if this is, something I probably shouldn't say, but congratulations on your acceptance to UNC Chapel Hill. That's amazing.
Thank you.
So you're welcome. I just want to make sure that you have a great time, and we are so honored to have you with us for a year. Though, like you said, it was an amazing year. So please come back and visit us.
Definitely.
Yeah, please come visit us. I got to know you pretty well at the youth conference, and it was so fun. I still remember when we were doing TikTok dances when we probably shouldn't have been doing them. But it was really fun this year getting to know you. And yeah, congrats on Chapel Hill.
Thank you so much.
All right, and as Wanda and Jamie have nicely said, Also, just for the purpose of this being live, and hopefully the other seniors will be able to come back and watch it. I want to congratulate them on all of their hard work. Aiden, I have so many people's names in my head. Sean, I mean, the list goes on and on.
There's Sean, there's Catherine, there's Vera.
Yes. I'm trying to think of everyone's names because they were just so all awesome, and they all had such a great impact on the Youth Advisory Council. I think one of our biggest councils since I've been on board, which has only been 2 years, but amazing work, and we congratulate you all on your hard work and your amazing abilities to connect and to advocate on behalf of our peers. So congratulations to you all. And with that being said, Jamie and Wanda, are we able to move to our next item on our agenda?
Yes, we're on item 5 now for staff reminders and information. The newsletter review. Anyone from YAC, would anyone like to make a comment about the newsletter? I think it looks awesome. Has everyone seen it? You should have all received your copy.
I do want to say that I have not received my copy, but I heard it was amazing. So I do want to, maybe it's lost in my spam mail.
Check your email. Check your email.
Yeah, I checked and I haven't seen it, but I can look through my spam and my trash. So other than that, I haven't, but I heard it was really amazing, and congratulations to all who worked on it. Very, very hurt from what I heard of Brooke.
Thank you. Do you still need me to make those edits to it, Wanda, that you suggested?
Jamie, do you still did you coordinate this with Brooke at all? I think we do need the edits though.
Okay, I can make them.
Okay,
I remember sending it in, and then you sent me an email.
Yeah.
About the edits that needed to be made, so I can make a couple of edits.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But it looks great. Good job, everyone. Yeah. And then moving on. If did anybody have any other questions about the newsletter or thoughts? Okay. All right. New business. Really, I don't think I had any new business other than the fact that the Winston-Salem Foundation has extended you all's deadline for expending the mini grant on your annual project because of the pandemic, obviously. And so I think for most, they've extended it at least through the fall, understanding it may have to be extended again. And so, you know, with your annual project, we were talking about the taste tester event and the wall, the youth expression wall, and so on. But everybody is understanding that work has not been able to get done due to the pandemic restrictions.
I'm part of
in good shape with that. You're in good, and of course you did get the state youth grant too. Jamie, have you heard an update on the state youth grant? Because I haven't.
It has been deposited, just like last week. They sent it. Besides that, I haven't heard anything. They usually want an update around this time, but they haven't said anything. So.
Okay, so you all do know that you have the mini grant from the youth grant makers in action, and then you have it from the state youth council. So you do have the 2 mini grants for whenever we do resume somewhat normal activities. And
I was going to ask, how much do we have for each grant?
The state grant I think was $227, and the youth grant makers. Out, Jamie?
Wasn't it like?
I think it was around 100 and something.
It was very small.
Was it? Oh, I thought it was bigger. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm part of another group who also received a grant from YGA, and they said that they're like extending the period to use the grant up until fall. So
yeah,
that's pretty much when. I think I'm not sure. I think they said that they'd want. I wasn't coordinating it for them, But I'm pretty sure they're like gonna ask for an update sometime during the summer. And then they have like a ceremony or something. I'm not sure.
Yes, they always do the ceremony later on in the year, and we have been in touch with YGA, with their staff and all, so we're in good shape for now. But I wanted you all just to be aware of the 2 grants. They're still floating out there. You have the money, but we just have to wait until we can resume somewhat normal activities, which segues into section 6 on the agenda, which is called suspended activities. So Tiffany, would you like to say anything about the taste tester event? We understand that's probably suspended along with what we were planning to do with the youth expression wall. Is Tiffany still? Okay.
I'm here.
Okay.
Well, obviously, we're going to have to play things by ear. I think that we'll have to see what happens regarding going back to the school in the fall and what restrictions are in place. I mean, that event would have been held in a recreation center facility as well. And so whatever restrictions are in place for those facilities will impact whatever we do. In a couple of months, so perhaps in August, we might want to look and see where things are at and reevaluate, and maybe explore switching, if you all are allowed to, your food focus. I think there have been a lot of impacts that COVID has had on food security in our community, and there might be some other ways for you to still make an impact on this issue in another way. So I think we can do something. We might just have to wait if you all do want to try to push forward with that physical event to see if we can do the taste testing event, what it would look like, or if we should pivot and think of something impactful but different.
I agree, Miss Tiffany. I think that's a great way to talk about that, honestly, because we do have to reevaluate a bunch of our thinking right now because of the restrictions that are in place. Of course, we're gonna have to play it by month, accordingly to what the North Carolina Assembly says that we can do, and how school will look. I've been speaking with a chef with the Providence Kitchen. He's actually the head chef, I believe, Jeff Bacon, and he was actually going to help us get into the rhythm of performing the taste testing during the time before the restriction. So I think we can still speak with the people of the Second Harvest Food Bank and Providence Kitchen just to get an idea of how we could go about it in a safer version, or if we have to do something completely different, what would they suggest, and what are some of the models that they have been using to tackle food insecurity through the Think Orange campaign. So really great idea and notion that you gave to us all on the idea of our process of thinking at this time.
Yeah, for sure, because now you hear about like how they're serving meals for like families during COVID that have to go get food. So what you said about shifting our focus, maybe we'll have to do that just so that we can use the budget like in time. Or we'll just, like you said, we'll have to like wait to see what happens to see like how school's gonna play out, because there's really not too much point in having a taste testing event for school meals if school isn't going to be in place. So I don't know, we may have to change our focus on that, but good point.
That being said, there is, food systems work has so much breadth and depth to it that you all will have the opportunity to look at, if you wanted to, kind of the impacts of COVID locally on our food system. You could look at, cultural relevancy of foods right now. The Hispanic Latino community is most affected by COVID in Forsyth County. What is feeding operations look like for them? There are a lot of different ways you all could approach this. If you wanted to look at urban farming, farmers markets, I think whatever you all are interested, let's reevaluate in 1 to 2 months to kind of see where we're at when we have more of a clear answer about school and recreation and parks programming, and then move from there. But definitely take you all the next, month or two to explore and research in the food system learn a little bit more about what's going on, in meat packing plants, learn about what's going on in our regional food system. So that way, when we do have the time to decide, are we going to move forward as normal with some restrictions, or should we switch? You all will have a sense of this is how we should switch.
Great ideas, both from Ms. Tiffany and Brooke. Amazing ways to think about it. We're going to have to reevaluate our thinking, of course. I just want to open up to anyone who hasn't spoke or would like to share some of their ideas at this time, whether that is for the taste testing or the expression wall, because I know we're kind of going down our on the agenda. So if you guys have any ideas or concerns, like I said, there's a lot of restrictions in place, so we're having to reevaluate our thinking for a lot of it and look by the month. And I do want to stress, make sure you're checking your emails, make sure you keep in contact with Jamie and Wanda throughout the process so they can also on their end give us updates, and also for us to extend our ideas and our thought process of how we're going to conduct research in a way to understand, okay, this is probably the best route for us. So does anyone have any questions, comments, ideas, notions, or anything of the such?
Portia, you all might need to vote on adjusting the focus.
Okay.
It could encompass community needs as they relate to COVID-19, if that's what it is that you all are saying.
Okay, so I think that's a fair way to go about it. So so I can get some clarification from you, Ms. Wanda. So we are voting on reconstructing our projects as it relates to COVID-19, correct?
Well, you're voting on whether or not you want to incorporate any needs resulting from the effects of COVID-19 into your project. So as Tiffany said, you still have the food focus, which is the primary umbrella for it, but maybe shifting just a tiny bit as needed, as the community presents whatever problems that they may have within the context of COVID-19 and the effects from it, if that makes sense.
It does, actually. So with that being said, I guess I can start the motion, or James, would you like to, in the respect of incorporating new ideas into our already existing projects as it relates to COVID-19? So I'm not sure if James is still on, but if you would like to start that motion, or I can just as well.
Okay, so the motion is to incorporate new ideas into our project as it relates to COVID-19. Portia Smith.
Okay, before we start on voting, we're gonna need some seconds.
I'll second.
Okay.
I second the motion to adjust our focus on the basis of COVID-19.
Okay, now we're gonna start voting. Portia Smith.
Aye.
Brooke Lackey.
Aye.
Cameron Allen.
Aye.
Celeste Collado.
Aye.
Natalia Adama.
Aye.
Sasha Sagar.
Aye.
Simran Bagama.
Aye.
Skylar Peddle.
Aye.
Tamir.
Sorry, did you say to for me to say it again?
Oh, my bad. Skylar Peddle.
Aye.
Tamara Smith.
Aye.
And Jacob Taylor. Aye. The motion passes.
Okay, so we have already of our agenda, but I do want to say if there's anything before we do adjourn our votes on closing the meeting, does anyone have any questions, comments, concerns, anything that was not clarified during this meeting?
Portia, we will be revisiting the youth expression wall and what to do and how to do that. We'll get some options maybe over the summer or early fall.
Okay.
Amy and I discussed that maybe you all could consider having the orientation at the wall. I mean, we could get creative with how to do that, or even maybe getting some local artists to socially distance and maybe paint the wall for you all if you agreed on a theme, you know, sort of like they did for the mural in front of Main Street.
Okay, I think that's rightfully so. So, does anyone have any ideas concerning? You know, we briefly spoke about the youth expression, but does anyone have any ideas maybe as to what we could use or incorporate the idea of what to have on the youth expression wall? I know there's a few people who had brought that up in our meetings at the beginning of our youth advisory council first and foremost. But I do want to hear from some people possibly who have this or haven't really spoke during this meeting, or just questions in general as to how we would shape that during the summer.
I think it would be really cool if we got, like Miss Wanda said, to have some of the local artists, you know, like social distance and go out there. Maybe we could always meet at for orientation for next year at the local wall and have those artists out there, and we could just kind of collaborate the two of them together. And all of us, like obviously, like take precautions to for the COVID-19. So that's what my idea was.
I agree with Skylar too, and the local artists can kind of take the lead, but we can kind of assist them as they do it. That's my suggestion.
Great idea. Both. I'm sorry. Did someone jump in? Did I cut someone off?
Go ahead. I was gonna say something, but go ahead.
No, you're okay, because I was just tying in everyone's ideas, so I would love to hear yours actually.
Okay. We still want our focus to be on like vape, right? Like the anti-vaping campaign kind of deal.
So I think that's the question at hand, as well as what we're going to do. Is it still going to be vaping, or do we want to do it something centered around the coronavirus, the Black Lives Matter movement? What do we have in mind as of right now? What do we want to do? Do we still want to focus? I mean, I think that's still a great idea, but what is the avenue we want to take for this part?
Yeah, you need a theme. You need to have a theme for the wall. That's for sure.
Right. And so that's something that I believe we're going to have to vote on if the theme changes, correct? Okay, so
that is correct. And I think that the team vaping, I'm trying to remember if we wrote that into the grant proposal to either.
I'm pretty sure we did. So we might have to keep with that. Because when we went to the interview, we were talking about it, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, but that doesn't mean that you can't have something up there about teen vaping and also have a part of the wall for something else too.
Yeah, that's true. Sasha, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I just have maybe an idea. Like, so I feel like the hospital staff or whatever, they don't get as much appreciation for like their hard work during the coronavirus. So maybe we could like have part of the wall like dedicated or whatever to them. Like we can say like thank you to them or something like that.
That's a good idea. I think that's important.
I really like Sasha's idea with incorporating the hospital employees and people that are working during this time. What I was thinking maybe is that since we already have it in the grant that we were going to do the teen vaping idea on the mural, if we do contact those local artists that we're going to be working on the wall, if we could talk to them about the other ideas that we had, if that's with the Black Matters protest or if it's with the COVID or the hospital or the teen vaping, if we could like collaborate with them and just talk about how we can incorporate all of those ideas. If that's just like a really cool way of having all these different people on the wall and doing things that maybe have a positive view on them or something like that. We just like talk to them about it because sometimes I know that when I do stuff with the club at my school, core club, and we have to collaborate with artists for if it's for a t-shirt or a mural or something, I always just talk to them about what are your ideas, just because they may have like a better take on something because they're the artists and stuff. So that's just what I was thinking. But
to kind of go off of what Skylar was saying, I I feel like we should focus on how everything makes you feel, because when you start to keep the vaping, because it was also about how you felt when you started it, why you started it, and why you started vaping. So I feel like if we focus on everything that's going on, like how you feel about COVID and how you feel about Black Lives Matter, it could also tie into vaping, because there might be kids resorting to vaping because of how they feel about being in the house all the time because of COVID and being this extra stress of how everything like going on racially it has become a topic of conversation all the time now. So I feel like that's an easy way to tie in everything and try to just understand where people are coming from when you are vaping, how you feel about COVID and how you feel about Black Lives Matter, just to try to tie in everything, because everything has such an important part in our daily lives now.
I believe these are some really great ideas we're having going on. I like how Skylar added the part of having the Black Lives Matter people who were the artists on the mural. I love Tamara's idea of tying it together, and Sasha's and Brooks and everyone's shining light to those who are working on the front lines fighting the coronavirus. My only question is right now, with all that being said, the idea of incorporating everything, how can we narrow this down to a title or an idea of, well, we have ideas flowing, but what is the name of this? How are we going to incorporate everything? And Celeste, I think you're ready to speak.
Yes. So along the lines of the health workers fighting COVID, excuse me, we could in the mural paint the hospital worker, the doctor, as someone of color, specifically a Black person, because there's also a lot of racism in the healthcare system, like just period everywhere. So showing what's it called, a person of color in a position that helps people would also be how do you say, empowering? Yes. And also tying in the whole vaping thing. We can put that like vaping doesn't be harder. So to just take caution, I think there's just a way that we can all like combine them all.
Yeah.
I don't know completely how, but we could put what's it called, a person of color, a Black person specifically, in the role of doctor when we're painting the mural.
I like that. I don't know if Celeste cut out for anybody else, but you cut out when you were talking about how to tie in vaping. What did you say about that? You were talking about the healthcare worker, and then you were like, well, to tie in vaping, we could do, and then you cut out.
What's it called? I was gonna say to like say something that like vaping doesn't make the job any easier because it's these times that we have to social distance, wear a mask, and keep our lungs healthy, knowing that COVID does attack the lungs specifically. So it would be a great help to just not smoke and do stuff that are damaging your lungs and making them weaker in case you do have to face COVID.
Yeah, that's a good point. I like that. It's hard to tie all these ideas together. I feel like we could definitely like use your idea, and also like ask a local artist like that's going to be painting for us like all the ideas that we want to incorporate. I was thinking maybe just like a generalized saying we need change. Maybe it could just be the mural saying we need change, and then either the letters are the different points that we want to hit. So maybe like in the letter C, we want to focus all on vaping, and then H, we want to focus on like the Black Lives Matter movement, and then A could be a different letter, N could be, or A could be a different focus, N could be a different focus, G could be different, and so on. I don't know. There's a bunch of ways we could go about it. It's just because like I feel like obviously change is definitely needed. So and there's so much that needs to be done, so it's hard to sum it all up on this one wall. But I feel like with like all of our ideas combined, we can do it.
Another idea that I was thinking about is what if we could just title the whole mural 2020 in quotation marks, just kind of draw and express the different problems that we went through in 2020. So it could be Black Lives Matter movement, vaping, that kind of stuff. Everything if we just titled it 2020.
That's a good.
Well, how about combining what you're saying, James, with what Brooke said and Celeste said, and have 2020, and then have we need, maybe in regular block letters, and then change is gargantuan, these huge letters. And like you all were saying, have inside each letter the different things. That way it's almost like a collage, but it's not leaving out any of the ideas or any of the problems or issues or concerns that you all have.
It could say like 2020, like the year we change or something like that. I don't know. It could be something along those lines. We'll come up with something. But I think it's smarter to not just focus it on vaping. I think it should encapsulate all the issues that are going on right now.
I think that's a good point, Brooke. Who's good at sketching stuff? Anybody good at doing like a sketch of what this could look like? Because in all honesty, if you're talking about doing this at the end of summer or early fall, you need some kind of sketch or something that you can show to a couple of artists so that they can already know what you want and you can just hit the ground running when it's time.
So I'm pretty well with sketching, and I think nice ideas are really greatly everything just incorporates what so many people are going through, tackles a lot of the big issues. So I think that's something we're gonna need to vote on.
Yes.
As far as changing our direction into something that tackles everything that we're experiencing in 2020. And yes, to answer your question, I could to do some sketches and share with you all, probably preferably via email, just so that you all, both you and Jamie, are in the loop. That's why I want to really stress being in the loop as far as our advisors via email, via GroupMe.
Yes, because we can help you to make it happen. That is why we need to be in the loop. But so Portia, well, whoever, we need a motion that we're still going to include vaping, but you're going to also include these other social injustice concepts in the mural itself. We need to have a motion for that to show that YAC is okay with it, but Team Vaping will be a part of it because that's written in your grants.
So I believe I can pass it over to James because he's done really well, but I do want to structure our motion in a way that is the best way. So I believe the motion is to incorporate ideas of 2020 into our mural with the idea of teen vaping.
You want to incorporate social injustice concerns that the youth may have to include teen vaping for the youth expression wall.
Okay, I like that. Very well. And I'm trying to, I feel like as words soup in my head, so I'm trying to,
I know.
Trying to get my family together. But
I understand.
know of that?
Sounds Good.
Did somebody make a motion?
All right, are you ready? Okay. So
We have to have a motion. We have to have a motion in a second.
all right. So the motion
The motion.
is to change the focus of the expression wall into a mural that includes 2020 social justice topics and teen vaping. Is that fine?
Good. I think that's good enough.
I need a second.
James, were you making a motion or were you just stating what it would say?
I was making the motion.
Okay.
Repeat it.
No, you're good.
All right, I need a second.
Second that motion.
Portia Smith.
Aye.
Lord Lackey.
Aye.
Celeste Collado.
Aye.
Tamara Smith.
Aye.
Cameron Allen. Natalia Adama.
Aye.
Sasha Sagar.
Aye.
Simon Vadgama.
Aye.
Skylar Peddle.
Aye.
And Jacob Taylor.
Aye.
The motion passes.
Okay, since we are at the end of our items, I do want to say if there's any ideas, like I said, ideas, notions, comments, questions, concerns, before we close the meeting. I think this was a very productive meeting, being our first meeting virtually. I'm so glad that community members joined and we were able to get a pretty good feel of how to work this virtual stuff, especially for me because I am not familiar. You would think I would know how to work this, but I'm not well this, but we're learning, and I think that's one of our core values with the Youth Advisory Council. I do want to open the floor up to anyone else who had any ideas, comments, questions, concerns, something that we need to clarify before we vote on adjourning the meeting.
Portia, you've done an outstanding job. Madam Vice Chair, you have run the meeting very well in Aiden's absence, and kudos. You just did a very good job.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wanda. Like I said, I'm honored to be here today and to connect with everyone. I do want to say that I know this time can be very mentally draining. I myself I'm having trouble, just like, oh my gosh, taking in all the information with the Black Lives Matter movement, with the coronavirus pandemic, but make sure that you take time to rest and to recharge. That's something that I would like to stress, and I'm sure Miss Wanda and Miss Jamie would love to stress and put out there. Make sure you take time for yourself, your well-being, because if you do not, you're not able to execute your ideas and your plans. So take time to rest, enjoy your summer. You guys, I love talking with everyone. I love being here. I mean, we just have just opening up to the community members. We have such a talented group of people. My peers are so talented. I'm just so honored to work with them. And like I said, I just want to thank everyone for joining the meeting. And if there's anyone, whether that be community members with comments, questions, concerns, ideas, or YAC members, before we vote on adjourning the meeting. Do you want to give a few seconds to fill in if you wish to speak?
You all will reconvene, Portia and Yak, most likely in the latter part of August. Even if it's in this format, we will send information out for you all to be able to reconvene when after school resumes. And then we'll see where we are with the new people and all of that, okay?
Great. So, like I said before, check your emails, and put the word out there about the Youth Advisory Council. A lot of people don't know of it. definitely spread the word. We are looking for new members. We're looking to educate someone, to empower someone. So definitely put out that word and connect with people that may have never advocated before, but now because of the Black Lives Matter movement, they're feeling so empowered. And I feel like this is a great space. We're all respectful, and we challenge each other to think of other avenues to go by. So if there's anything else, or any other comments, questions, concerns, notions, ideas of the community members, or anything, just please chime in before we do vote on adjourning the meeting. And if Wanda or Jamie would like to say anything, please. Okay, so I don't want to cut off anyone's ideas or anything that may be flowing through. But James, would you like to motion the adjourn of the meeting, or actually no, that's my position. I'm sorry.
Portia and James, anybody can make a motion. It doesn't always have to be you or James. It could be anybody can make a motion to adjourn, okay, or a motion for anything.
Okay,
I can do that.
Okay, I was so used to seeing Aiden do it and
That's
Mark
okay.
before. I was just like, oh, okay, but of course. So if anyone would like to motion, please do so. I open the floor up to anyone.
I make the motion to adjourn.
I second that motion.
Portia Smith,
Aye.
Sasha Sagar,
Aye.
Tamara Smith,
Aye.
Brooke Lackey,
Aye.
Cameron Allen,
Aye.
Celeste Collado,
Aye.
Natalia Adamo,
Aye.
Simran Vadgama,
Aye.
Skylar Peddle,
Aye.
and Jacob Taylor.
Aye.
The motion passes.
Thank you so much for joining the meeting. I love seeing everyone virtually. Like I said, if there's something of inspiration, if it arises, please email Jamie and Wanda. I want to shut that to the max. I just want to say thank you all, and I was so happy to see a great audience.
We miss you. We miss you. You stay safe, okay? Wear your masks.
Y'all, this is the last meeting of this year for this school
Yes,
year.
it is. Yes, it is. Congratulations, Yak, on an outstanding year. You did a state youth conference. You did all kinds of things, teen trust talks, awesome newsletters and articles. You all are awesome. We have thoroughly enjoyed you, and we look forward to welcoming the majority of you back in the fall. But yes, we're going to miss those of you who won't be with us in the fall for moving on, graduating, and so on. But the rest of you, we want to see you back in the fall now, okay?
Okay. We'll be in touch.
Yes, please.
Bye.
Doc and all that, Brooke and James, keep us posted on the protest.
Okay.
Whatever you want to call it.
All right.
Okay, y'all. Bye.
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 Summer.
Bye.